Hello and welcome. This is Into Vietnam, the daily update on local business events in the bulletin. The State Bank of Vietnam requires commercial banks to halt lending at too low rate. Year-end capital flows into saving channel. Vietnam and Japan sign non-refundable loans for two key NGO projects. The Vietnam Central Bank, which wants commercial banks to step up their lending, said some are making loans at interest rate lower than what they pay for deposits, and it wants them to stop their unhealthy practice. The State Bank of Vietnam revealed several credit institutions have accepted to lend at rates below deposit rate, which is a sign of unhealthy financial business that may bring risk to the banks. The practice has come to light after the banking sector reported loans as of November 30th were only 7.54% higher than that at the end of 2012. This shows credit is expanding this year at well below the central bank projection of 10 to 12%, and the International Monetary Fund forecast given in August of 12.4%. In its statement, the central bank also called on banks to lower both their deposit and lending rates in line with their financial health. While securities and real estate are potentially risky, gold and US dollars are no longer attractive. Savings are the channel selected by many people in the rear end. Currently, interest rates fell sharply compared to those at the beginning of the year. However, savings still attract customers. According to data from the State Bank of Vietnam in Hanoi branch, as of October 31st, 2013, total mobilized capital of credit institutions in the area was more than 988 trillion dong, increasing 1.13% from September 30th and 10.26% from December 31st, 2012. Vietnam dong deposits continue with high growth of 1.7%, while foreign currency deposits decreased compared to previous month. According to experts, with the current situation, saving channels is relatively safe in the context that stock market and real estate do not clearly show growing trend. According to the State Bank of Vietnam, as of November 31st, banks have committed lending to 1,256 customers with 1.5 trillion dong, in which 1,236 customers were disbursed with 470 billion dong. The capital comes from the SBV refinancing under the provisions of Circular No. 11. For corporate customers, banks have signed a credit agreements with 10 companies with 1.11 trillion dong, in which 5 companies were disbursed with 176 billion dong. Vietnam and Japan signed non-refundable loans for two key projects managed by non-government organizations. The funds are under the Japanese government's fiscal plan for 2013. The two projects, worth totally $737,000, are aimed to improve education in Vietnam. They are enhancing education on natural disaster relief in schools and communities in the coastal areas of Quảng Nam, and another named Improving Primary Education for the Minorities in 3 northern and central provinces. The former will be funded nearly $220,000 from Seed Asia in a bid to relieve consequences of natural disasters to local schools and communities in the coastal areas of Quảng Nam province every year. The latter projects will be funded $417,000 from the Plan Japan to improve educational quality in poor areas in 3 provinces of Hà Giang, Quảng Bình, and Quảng Ngãi. It will also help minority children to complete their primary education level. Both projects are in the center of Japanese government plan in its international support via non-refundable loans, and they are both managed by the country's non-government organizations. And coming up next is some foreign trade news.
Despite domestic and global economic difficulties, Vietnam-US trade in 2013 continued to grow steadily. According to the U.S. Department of Commerce, two-way trade turnover in 2013 may reach about $28.7 billion, up 15.3%, with Vietnam export raking in about $23.7 billion, up 16.7%, and imports about $5 billion, up 8.7%. Most noticeably, U.S. imports of apparel from Vietnam may reach $8.5 billion, a double-digit increase of 10.4% over the $7.7 billion in 2012. In addition, Vietnam exports of higher value-added products from modern manufacturing (FDI) are increasing sharply. According to the Vietnam Food Association, Vietnam's rice exports are not likely to reach the set target of 6.7 million tons this year. Rice exports were estimated at 6.1 million tons in the past 11 months, down 14% in volume and 18% in price compared to the same period last year. The association said the annual target had been adjusted twice to 6.6 to 6.7 million tons due to the sharp fall in rice shipments caused by tough competition in the shrinking consumer markets. To promote rice exports in 2014, the association has asked businesses to ensure the quality of high-valued rice, especially the fragrance rice. The association has proposed setting up a fund to support rice exporters in the signing of major contracts with foreign partners.
Amid the urgent need to reform SOEs, Vietnam's Economy and Policy Research Institute organized a forum on SOE restructuring in Hanoi on December the 12th. Research results on reforming state-owned enterprises, especially corporate and groups owned by the government, were announced. Measures to increase the effectiveness of the process were also discussed at the forum. Assessing the reforms of SOEs in the past time, experts say Decisions 704 and 929 by the government urge to improve the transparency in operations of state-owned enterprises, and the government has taken prompt actions to implement reforming measures and to improve transparency in SOE operations. However, the decisions have been proved to be too ambitious and include inappropriate points. The process of reforming the companies has shown lack of cooperation, especially the lack of collaborating with local banking sector. Stronger and more aggressive measures were proposed at the conference, including the solution to basically restructure the right of properties in state-owned enterprises, those to develop modern way of managing the company in line with international practice, and the solution to build competitive and specialized markets to facilitate the reforming process. According to industry experts, nearly 90% of products sold at local and foreign-owned supermarkets, as well as traditional markets in Ho Chi Minh City, are now locally made. Nearly 4 years since the launch of the Vietnamese People Use Vietnamese Products program, locally made goods have dominated distribution channels. Apart from modern distribution system, traditional markets have also given priority to locally made products. Such goods are sold at markets in the inner city or suburbs as well as areas near industrial zones. Ho Chi Minh City targets by 2015 about 80% of local people will use Vietnamese goods, and more than 900 wards will have stores selling price-stabilized products. The strong growth of export and import activities in the past years has made logistics an important service industry in the global trade. According to the roadmap of Vietnam's commitments upon WTO accession, from 2014, foreign service suppliers will be permitted to establish enterprises with 100% foreign capital investment to provide warehousing services and freight transport agency services. It poses big challenges for logistics businesses in Vietnam.
The first Vietnam Logistics Forum under the theme Enhancing the Competitiveness Capability by Linking Exporters, Importers, and Logistics Providers was held in Ho Chi Minh City recently. Representatives of the Ministry of Industry and Trade said, currently there are about 1,000 local enterprises and 25 foreign companies operating in the logistics sector. However, the sector structure has been uneven, since the majority of the companies involved in the freight transport services is mainly small-scale businesses, accounting for 70%. They provide only low added value services. Notably, Logistics cost on GDP is over 20%. This is a high proportion stemming from insufficient infrastructure as well as weak transport capacity. The state logistics managers should provide unified directions in terms of mechanisms and policies to have breakthroughs in the sector.
Các nước trong khu vực và những nước mà mới hội nhập thì chúng ta có thể là cái ngành logistics chúng ta được phát triển rất là nhanh, khá nhanh. Một phần nào đã đáp ứng được cái nhu cầu tăng trưởng kinh tế và đặc biệt là xuất nhập khẩu trong nước. Nhưng mà xét về mặt cạnh tranh để bảo đảm được năng lực cạnh tranh của sản phẩm Việt Nam thì cái thách thức đối với ngành logistics còn đặt ra đối với ngành logistics rất là quan trọng.
Do những cái yếu tố mà chậm phát triển và chưa đồng bộ của hệ thống logistics và cũng như là một số các nguyên nhân khác nữa trong cả cái thủ tục hành chính chẳng hạn thì nó làm cho cái giá thành cuối cùng của sản phẩm chúng ta khi mà được lưu thông tại thị trường nó tăng lên rất là cao. Và chính vì vậy thì nó dẫn đến một cái thực tế là các cái giá trị gia tăng của chúng ta trong các sản phẩm này vốn đã thấp chưa cao do những yếu tố về khía cạnh về công nghệ cũng như là về kỹ năng quản lý và về nhiều yếu tố khác thì nay nó lại bị tiếp tục giảm thêm nữa do những cái yếu tố phi sản xuất.
Accounting for Vietnam Logistics Association or VLA, currently there are about 1,200 companies providing logistics services, but most of them are small and medium-sized ones, with average traded capital of only about 4 to 6 billion Vietnam dong. Their skillful staff is very modest, accounting for only 5 to 7% of the total human resources. Most of local logistics providers operate as agents or undertake separate stages, such as subcontractors in the logistic chain for international suppliers. Although only 25 multinational logistics enterprises operate in Vietnam, they account for over 70 to 80% market share in the sector.
Thì do cái thói quen mà chúng ta mua bán phóp, mua ship đấy, tức là bán phóp tức là người bán chỉ giao hàng tới cầu tàu thôi, tới cầu tàu thôi, tới cảng thôi. Còn lại cái phần còn lại toàn bộ cái vận chuyển và giao hàng là của người mua hàng, của người nhập khẩu. Thì khi cái nhà nhập khẩu là người nước ngoài thì người ta sẽ chỉ định tàu của người ta chỉ định các đối tác logistics của người ta chứ không sử dụng dịch vụ Việt Nam.
Besides, another reason to be mentioned here is that foreign partners often prevail in contract negotiations and gain priority in selecting foreign logistics providers. However, experts said it is important not to identify the weaknesses of the domestic logistics industry, but to solve the problems that remain, as well as to figure out the development direction for the sector in the future.
Để giải quyết được cái vấn đề này thì chúng ta có một số cái nội dung nhiệm vụ rất là ưu tiên, trọng tâm. Mà thứ nhất là chúng ta phải tiếp tục có một cái chiến lược tổng thể để phát triển một cách đồng bộ hệ thống logistics của Việt Nam. Và cái này thì nó đòi hỏi phải có sự phối hợp và kết nối chặt chẽ giữa Bộ Công Thương, Bộ Giao thông Vận tải, một số bộ ngành có liên quan khác trong cái định hướng thống nhất về cái chủ trương phát triển của hệ thống logistics Việt Nam.
Currently, Vietnam has participated in numerous bilateral and multilateral free trade agreements. The common playground opens up really tremendous opportunities for commercial development in the future, but also creates huge challenges for Vietnamese businesses. Therefore, they need to grasp the situation to take advantage of the opportunities and minimize the challenges brought by the integration.
The program will wrap up with local gold prices, forex, and stock markets. Well, that's the news on VITV. Thanks for your time with us. We'll see you this time tomorrow. Till then, goodbye.